Hey guys, good morning. This video is a special video that I've been working on for a long time, years. Um, it's about the Case SC. I've been trying to gather photos and video from all over in my family that kind of shows a history of the Case in our family. And I guess I'll give you the background story on it. This tractor was purchased by my grandfather in the early 70s to help him in clearing his land that he and my grandmother bought near Alexandria, Minnesota. And they basically what happened was my grandpa told a friend of his in the area that he was looking for a tractor, and this friend said, "Well, grab a couple batteries and a gallon, a few gallons of gas in a gas can, and I know of a salvage yard. Let's head up there and we'll see if we can find something for you." So they went up there, and basically the owner of the salvage yard said, "Yeah, whichever one you want to throw some fuel in and put a battery in. If it fires up and you like it, we'll talk price." So, Grandpa went tractor to tractor and eventually ended up with the Case here and brought it home, and it was kind of their main work tractor for probably at least a decade, if not more. But it used to do all kinds of things, from just hauling trailer to pulling logs to, pulling a disc, pulling a drag to level out the road or the land. And he really worked this thing, but it's seen a hard life. But it's really cool to hear the stories about this tractor. There was one that a cousin of mine told me that they used to use this tractor way before the city would plow their road or their driveway. I guess it's a road now, but back then it was just a driveway. It wasn't even labeled a road. But it was probably about a mile long, and they never, the city would never come and plow it. So this was kind of their main source of transportation from the house a mile into the woods out to the tar road where it was plowed. So they would hook up a trailer behind this and drive down the driveway and pick up cousins, nieces, nephews, kids, whoever showed up to visit them. They would drive this through the 18 inches or whatever amount of snow to load everybody up on the trailer with all their luggage and bring them back into the house until they could get the road plowed out. So it's kind of cool, hearing those stories. And my cousin Mike, the one that's building the Peterbilt, he would always tell me that, he'd go up there, he'd get the carburetor all set up, get it timed right, and get it running good. And sure enough, a couple weeks later, he'd come back up and Grandpa would say, "Yeah, this thing, it was running good, and then all of a sudden it just wouldn't run right, so I started messing with the carburetor and started doing this," and he would have it all backwards. So then Mike would have to reset everything and check everything over, and then he'd say, "Now, Grandpa, don't touch it, just leave it alone." And my grandpa could never leave it alone. So, but every summer he'd always be up there slapping, old barn paint on with a brush, and for years and years it was painted red, not the original, flambeau red or Case orange as some people call it. So it was it's had a lot of history in our family, and a lot of my cousins, my brother and I mean, when I was born, this thing probably only ran another 5 years after I was born. So it was parked when my grandpa died on Thanksgiving in 1993, and it was in bad shape, and it sat in the woods for about 5 years until we drug it out, because my dad got tired of listening to me say, "Dad, I want to fix this tractor," and everybody would tell me that it's wore out, it's no good, it's junk. But here we are now, and it's still a work in progress. It's not by any means fully restored, mechanically and cosmetically. Cosmetically, it looks pretty good, but keep in mind this paint job's already, geez, it's going on 13 years old. So it's a PPG single stage paint, same paint that we used on the H. And Domino, he did a phenomenal job. He spent hours on body work and hours on paint, and you'll see a lot of those pictures here. But I actually tore this thing apart early on, and we got it running. I found a bunch of problems: broken piston rings, cracked head, cracked block, and this is still the original block, and it's still running with a crack in it. But there's a lot of JB Weld in this block, and it's holding, but I foresee sometime in the somewhat near future that we're going to do a complete teardown of this tractor, just like we did with the H. I mean, every nut and bolt's going to come out of it. We'll probably have the crank turned and welded up and returned into factory spec. I may end up replacing the block just for peace of mind. I don't really want to. This is it's a matching numbers block, and what that means is the block is stamped for the serial number right behind the air cleaner here where it bolts to the bell housing. It's stamped here, and then there's a serial plate on the dash that's also stamped. And I ordered a reproduction serial plate and stamped my own numbers, but I do have the original tag. So 4501960 is the serial number, and this tractor was built January 28th, 1941, so it is officially 80 years old as of a couple days ago. And it was shipped January 29th to PV Elevator Company in Wahpeton, North Dakota, which was a Case dealer at the time. Back then, any local businesses really, if they had anything to do with agriculture or hardware or farming and all, they could register to become dealers for these tractors. So a lot of times, like elevator companies or hardware stores, they became dealers for these old tractors. So that's where it originated. That's how it came into our family, was being picked up from a salvage yard in the early 70s, and I ended up with it just because it was kind of left and forgotten. So left for dead, I should say. But it runs great. Yeah, without any more information, I hope you guys enjoy this video. And there's quite a bit of clip in here from when I first got the tractor running again in 2001. So hope you guys enjoy it. You'll see clips of Domino and my little brother Chase. A lot of history in this tractor in our family. So enjoy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Stop looking at me!
What do you got to say for yourself, Damien?
I'm too stupid.
Pretty dang fun up here, I'd say.
Bye.